The boxing world is buzzing again, as Edgar Berlanga comes out swinging, this time not in the ring, but with his words. He's taken sharp aim at Canelo Alvarez, rejecting the claim that he fought to survive during their clash last September in Las Vegas. Berlanga doesn't just disagree, he's offended. From his perspective, the crowd was electric, roaring with excitement, especially in the final round, which he describes as insane. He believes his performance was misrepresented and insists he stood his ground. According to Berlanga, he shook off a third-round hit, looked his coach in the eye, and came back with fire. But while Berlanga speaks with pride, many fans remember a different story, one of hesitation, caution, and missed opportunities. For most of the fight, Berlanga appeared more focused on avoiding punishment than delivering it. While he did unleash some energy in the 12th round, critics argue it was far too late to change the narrative. The earlier rounds showcased a fighter who looked unsure, reserved, and even fearful at times. The fact that Berlanga reportedly rehydrated to a staggering 193 pounds, essentially stepping into the ring as a cruiserweight, only fuels the backlash. Despite the massive physical advantage over Canelo, a natural super middleweight, Berlanga failed to control the fight. That weight gap should have made a visible difference in dominance and power. But instead, fans saw a man backing up, absorbing punches, and playing defense for most of the night. After the Canelo bout, Berlanga parted ways with Matchroom and bounced back with a fast, first-round knockout. But the opponent was virtually unknown, and the win didn't silence the critics. Now he's taken a bold step forward by signing a one-fight deal with Turki Alalshik to face undefeated British talent Hamza Sheeraz. The fight is rumored to take place on July 12th at the iconic Central Park in New York City. It's a high-stakes match not just for Berlanga's record, but for his reputation. A loss could seriously stall his path to redemption, while a win might just put him back in the conversation for elite matchups. Berlanga is already mapping out his future with unshakable confidence. If he beats Sheeraz, he wants to take on Jaime Munguia next, another strong and respected name in the division. And then, he wants the rematch, the big one, with Canelo Alvarez. Berlanga sees that fight as his opportunity to rewrite the story and prove he belongs in the top tier of boxing. He feels misunderstood, claiming his actions were those of a resilient fighter, not a scared one. He even dragged Jermell Charlo into the conversation, saying if anyone was just trying to survive against Canelo, it was Charlo, not him. Still, not everyone is buying the narrative. From a fan's viewpoint, Berlanga's performance told a different tale. With all eyes on him, he appeared to shrink under the spotlight for most of the fight, only delivering in a round where the stakes were already lost. It's not just about what Berlanga says, it's about what the world saw. He has the raw power, the size, and the self-belief, but until that translates into consistent, fearless fighting, his words might keep falling on skeptical ears. The boxing world will be watching closely in July to see not just if he wins, but if he finally steps up and fights like the star he claims to be. Berlanga's insistence on rewriting the narrative isn't just about pride, it's a calculated move to stay relevant in a sport that doesn't easily forget. His comments targeting Canelo, especially after such a widely criticized performance, signal a fighter who knows controversy sells. By stirring the pot and denying what many viewed as a passive showing, Berlanga is forcing the spotlight back onto himself. In a division stacked with talent and egos, calling out legends like Canelo and even mocking other fighters like Jermell Charlo keeps his name in headlines. But this strategy walks a dangerous line. One slip in the ring, and the hype becomes humiliation. There's also growing pressure on Berlanga to prove he's more than just hype. For years, he's been labeled a knockout artist, thanks to a string of early round finishes. But once he began facing tougher competition, the flaws started to show. Stamina issues, hesitancy, and a tendency to fade under pressure. Against Canelo, many fans expected him to rise to the moment. Instead, they watched a fighter who looked overwhelmed and too cautious to take risks. Even with his size advantage, Berlanga didn't impose his will, and that passivity has haunted his reputation ever since. His upcoming bout against Hamza Sheeraz might be Berlanga's last real chance to change how he's viewed by fans and Industry insiders. Sheeraz is hungry, undefeated, and has nothing to lose, making him a dangerous opponent. If Berlanga fails to impress or gets outboxed, it won't just be another loss. It'll confirm every doubt his critics have voiced. This fight isn't just about records, it's about identity. Is Berlanga a future champion, or just another overhyped brawler who couldn't evolve? Everything rests on his performance in July. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez has remained largely unbothered by Berlanga's barbs. As one of boxing's most accomplished champions, Canelo is used to being called out by ambitious challengers. But what stung Berlanga wasn't just Canelo's comment, it was the brutal honesty behind it. Saying Berlanga fought to survive hit a nerve because deep down, it's what many fans believed. For Berlanga, those words weren't just criticism, they were a challenge. And now, every move he makes feels like a response to that single, humiliating accusation. In the end, Edgar Berlanga's journey from the next big thing to an embattled contender is a classic boxing story. Raw talent, early hype, and a harsh reality check. But what happens next is still unwritten. He can continue talking, calling out names, and demanding rematches. Or he can do what fighters are truly remembered for: step into the ring, silence the doubters, and fight like his legacy depends on it. Because at this stage in his career, it absolutely does.